Welcome back to Char,
And Carolyn,
the most fun stylists on the internet.
in our opinion, Char.
Yeah, in our opinion. So today, what we're going to talk about is body shapes and how you understand a little bit more about your own body shape. Isn't that right, Carolyn?
That's my plan. That's why I'm wearing this lovely accessory today. This is called a tape measure. Every woman's best friend, right?
It matches your outfit perfectly. It's exactly
Yes,
the
it
right
is.
pop of color.
There we go. Yes, I'm putting the pop of color right around my neck there. A little swag, yes. So I think a lot of women really don't know what works well on their body type, and it starts out with knowing your body type. And that starts out with getting a tape measure. And the interesting thing is, you really don't even need a tape measure. You can use a piece of string because you don't need numbers. You just need proportions. So
And
all you're going to
honestly,
do is take three, and I'll just use a tape measure because it's long enough. Well, if I keep eating the bread that I'm making, it won't be long enough, much longer. But just use something that can get your bust at the fullest part, your waist, and your hips. And then you're going to talk about the proportion between those three. Is that basically how you do it, Char?
yeah, I love the idea of not actually using a tape measure because I think that we can get really hung up on the number, and it's just a number.
It is.
So
Yep.
I like the idea of using that. And so you're going to measure your bust right here.
Yep. At the fullest part.
Yep. The waist at your natural waistline, and your hips at the fullest part as well. So,
yep.
And even just saying the fullest part isn't really all that fun. So it's all the more reason why it's not about a number. Yeah.
Yeah, and most often, regardless of whether we lose or gain weight, our body shape is pretty much predetermined. We may get more or less in another direction, but pretty much, I mean, I can remember myself in high school wondering why I never had a waistline, and I weighed a lot less than I do now. I just assumed everybody should have a waistline. My body type has always been just perfectly rectangle. It hasn't changed regardless of what my weight has done. And for virtually all women, that's the same.
Yeah, so, I find that too.
Yep. Yeah. So let's talk about the 5 body shapes. And Char actually has some really, really brilliant clip art that she got to show us. So do you want to show the shape and then I'll describe what it is?
Yeah. Do you care what order?
Nope, don't care at all. All right. So this is an apple shape. If you find that you are 2 inches more, wait a minute, that your waist measures 2 inches more than your hips and your bust, then you're an apple shape. So you're fuller through the center. A lot of times apple shapes will have slim limbs, slim arms and legs, and that apple shape is really fun to dress. But generally those women are going to be 5'2" and under. Char, do you have anything to add to that?
I always, when I meet an apple shape, I always remember noticing like, oh, I just wish my legs were even close to the size of yours. It's so
beautiful legs. You're absolutely right. Yeah. Yes. Yep. Yep. Okay, so now remember, ladies, what you want to do is take those measurements, and if your waist is more than 2 inches larger than your hip and your bust, then consider yourself an apple shape. And when you find the shape that's relative to you, write it down, because our next episodes are all going to be talking about how to dress, how to accessorize your specific body type. So what do you have next? Oh, the strawberry. So the strawberry is your bust measurement is greater than your hip and your waist measurement. So in other words, you're larger on the top, broader shoulders, generally more busty. And it says your bust measurement is greater than your hip and waist measurements by 3 inches or more. Sometimes we call these reverse triangle too. So those slimmer legs and hips and a little bit more voluptuous or wider shoulders on the top. What do you got next, Char?
I'm going to keep going with the fruit basket.
Let's go with the fruit basket. Yep, apparently we haven't had lunch. So here's the pear shape. If your hips are 4 inches or more larger than your bust and your waist, let me see, your bust and waist do not differ significantly. So your bust and waist are pretty much the same, and then your hips are at least 4 inches larger than those measurements. So a lot of times this is a body shape that's really interesting to dress.
So this is what I am too, by
Okay.
the way. So if you're curious about when you see what I'm wearing on any given picture, I am a pear.
Okay, perfect.
Yep.
And do you feel like you've been a pear shape all your life?
I do. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, the next shape is
I've
a
been a
pencil.
skinnier pear.
Pardon me?
I've been a skinnier pear.
A skinny, yeah, well, yeah, I've been a skinnier pencil too, let me tell you. Okay, so a pencil is next. This is if your waist, hips, and bust don't differ by more than 2 inches. So I would call this a rectangle. A pencil is generally taller and slim. I'm not tall, but my shape is very much rectangle. So I'm a variation of a pencil shape because I'm a petite. But a pencil shape is just going to be that straight shape. So I think, Char, that we've probably talked enough about each of the hourglass. How could I forget the hourglass? I'm glad you brought that one. So the hourglass is your waist measurement is smaller than your bust and hip by 4 inches or more. So these are those lovely little waisted ladies, or sometimes they're a larger lady with that shape. So it's anybody who has that difference, that really differentiated waist. All right, so ladies, I hope that you all know that your kind of body shape can be dressed to make you look absolutely fabulous. It's not about what shape you are. It's about making the most of your assets.